Welcome into another edition of the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show. It's great to be here with all of you on this Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. It's 12 o'clock here on the East Coast. I'm Zach Starr, your co-host. We'll be having Gavin Tony join us momentarily. It's great to be here with all of you. We have a lot to break down today here in the sports world. And just on cue with that, we bring Gavin in here. Gavin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Can you give me
Yeah, we got you. It's a little early there. But no, definitely it's great to have you all here on the show today. We have a lot to go over. As I mentioned, we're talking about the Los Angeles Clippers, Denver Nuggets game, the Toronto Raptors, Boston Celtics game. That was a blowout. We're also going to touch on the Stanley Cup playoffs today. The New York Islanders got crushed by the Lightning by a score of 8-2. Also talking about the hometown Philadelphia Phillies as they continue on their hopeful playoff hopes. So we're gonna be getting to that and more. We are going to be starting off today here, though, with our headline, which is the Los Angeles Clippers. They have pretty much taken a lead here in the series by a series score of 2-1 against the Denver Nuggets. There were some scares after they lost game 2, but bringing in now Kevin. How you doing, man?
I'm having a bad Tuesday, and you would think today is Monday, but it's not. It's Tuesday. It's crazy. Great games last night, though, Zach. Can't complain about that. The Clippers won. I think the Lakers are gonna lose today, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll talk about that in a minute here. But yeah, no, Clippers, they take the lead by a score of 2-1. Pretty impressive game last night. I mean, both teams, they look good. The Nuggets do not look like they're outmatched at all. But, I mean, I think this is going to go to 6 or 7, Gavin. I'm going to be honest with you. But I think that both teams are good. Jokic had a really great night. Jamal Murray still not so good. Michael Porter Jr. had an absolute posterizing on who was it? Montrezl Harrell tried to get the charge and just didn't. And Porter Jr. had a huge dunk, went up and down. So it was a great game, Gavin. We'll get to the Raptors in a minute. I know that game was not as exciting, but what are your thoughts and takeaways here from Game 3?
Well, first of all, Playoff P showed up, and Zach, I told you, Playoff P can get it going. He's going to be a real problem, and no one realizes that how dangerous Paul George really is. Paul George and just had a great game, phenomenal game last night. He took over the game, really, and Kawhi Leonard with a finger block. Zach.
That was crazy.
It's crazy. One finger block, and then it's like you already covered the Michael Porter Jr. dunk.
That was absolutely crazy. His dad was in the audience. He was so excited.
Takeaways from the game, even bigger takeaways, Zach. I'm going to go deeper into that. Did you see how great the game, the series is going to be great. Zach, you're right. 6
it's
or 7.
Going to 7. It has to go to 7, dude. There's no way it doesn't.
I believe in 6.
I guess you're taking the Clippers. I'm still taking the Clippers, but the Nuggets for sure are putting up a good fight right now, and they look like a good team.
Yeah, the Nuggets look like a great team. The Nuggets look like a team that's supposed to be there. Like they have no. They just deserve to be there.
They're down 3-1. They came back 3-1 in the first round. I mean, that's not really heard of.
But I think Jamal Murray's magic, the Jamal Murray magic is over. It's a nice throw. There's nice touchdown pass from Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. I think he had 10 plus assists. He always finds a way to rack up the assists.
Always. And Nikola Jokic is. I know, and there's some people that don't agree with this. They think Joel Embiid's better, but if you had to start your team around Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid, I think I picked Jokic because it's more of an all around, do it all type.
Got a weird looking jump shot, but it works. That's for sure.
It goes in. That's all that matters at the end of the day.
No doubt. So here right now we are going to talk about the Toronto Raptors Boston Celtics game. Now they got absolutely blown out here in Game 5. For those who don't remember, though, the Sixers got blown out by the Raptors in Game 5 last year. They came back in Game 6 and won. You're not going home for this. Like, it's not like you're going to Toronto and you get to have that luxury of home court advantage to win the game and force the Game 7. But Gavin, do you think the Raptors can force the Game 7, or is this series truly over now? Again, it was tied at 2-2. The Raptors really were decimated yesterday. Now up 3-2 are the Celtics.
Well, Zach, you got to remember the 2 games that they won. The Boston Celtics did not shoot the ball effectively well, and their made and attempts went down a lot. I saw a stat on that last night where the first 2 games they were making a lot of their shots, and the game they just wasn't making a lot of the second and third game, or the third and fourth game they wasn't making a lot of the shots. I think this series is over now. Boston's going to turn the switch on. They're going to win. It was a nice run, Zach, with your team that you picked to win, but I think it's over for them now.
We'll see what happens. I do think it's going to Game 7, but I think the Celtics will have no problem winning in Game 7. So, with that being said, Gavin, NBA playoffs continue today. I believe the first game, I'm going to double check, is going to be the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis has not been ruled out yet. I don't know, man. It's tough with the ankle. But, yeah, 6:30 tonight, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Miami Heat. I think it's over for Milwaukee. Now you got a chance to single in on Chris Middleton. You got game plan to form around Chris Middleton. So I think Jimmy Butler's going to be on Chris Middleton tonight. And we're going to see Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler just do what they've been doing. So I think it's over for Milwaukee. And I would be pretty disappointed on how it ended.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be – tomorrow we'll cover it more depending on the outcome. But I have Miami winning tonight as well. It depends if Giannis does play. But, it's emotional for the kid. I've read a lot about him this morning. It's a great story that he has had so far in his career. He's surely not done. But, it's got a lot of LeBron senses to it, if you know what I mean. Where, he never went to the NBA Finals, though, so it's different. But – where you're a superstar in this league, but you didn't have the lens on you. Remember, LeBron was the first overall pick out of high school. He had the lens on him pretty early, and he showed up. Giannis, different story. Kind of worked his way up in the league. He came in rather skinny. He's really become a great player. He's going to be back-to-back MVPs, and they can't get over that hump. And they're losing to a team of Miami. It's disappointing, that's for sure.
Well, you got to look at the teams and how close they came. Zach, you weren't the 1 seed last year. You were the 2 seed, correct me if I'm wrong. You were the 2 seed.
They were
Milwaukee.
last week.
Oh, they were. So you go, you're the 1 seed, you go to Toronto, you have them up 2-0, and you lose ultimately the rest of the series after that. You lose against Boston, you lose to they lost a lot. That's the problem. That's my point I'm trying to make to you guys is
Yeah, they lost to Boston 2 years ago.
they lost to Boston 2 years ago, a Kyrie-less Boston, the ad. You lost to Miami, because we're writing them off. You lost to Toronto. Zach, is it Giannis that's the problem, or is it the other side of the problem?
It's Giannis. It's part of the problem. You don't get the spacing that you need, so obviously that's part of the other players. But the paint gets clogged in the playoffs, Gavin. You see Joel Embiid's efficiency go down some years. Something about the playoffs, it's different. Real defense, and Giannis can't take advantage of that. Zion would struggle in the playoffs with real defenses, that's for sure.
If Zion can shoot the ball, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, but Giannis to do that too, which he's trying to do. But you need another guy on the floor where you can avoid double teams at all costs. Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, almost no center in the league is going to be able to get across with that double team.
There's no way that. I think when I look at Giannis and I look at this team, it's poorly built. And what I mean by that is, Zach, I'm going to go back to
Eric Bledsoe over Malcolm Brogdon.
Exactly. That's the main start. Start from there.
Who's their starting? And they don't have a legit starting shooting guard.
They don't have a legit starting shooting guard at all.
Vincenzo off the bench.
Who's not the best, but is not going to get a.
Yeah, but you similar to the Sixers, you need a JJ Redick like that. You need someone where if you get double teamed, you're kicking it out, and then they have to go one-on-one. But yeah, in the playoffs, it's hard for Giannis against these tough defenses once you get to this level.
When you get to the playoffs, Zach, you said it best. The paint gets harder to score in. Guys like Russell Westbrook is struggling a little bit right now. As you heard him say, he's going to watch film. He's going to figure out what he has to do.
With no center.
You need it, yes. And then you look at Giannis, who has no one that can shoot the ball effectively around him. When you had Malcolm Brogdon there, you had a legitimate big three. Malcolm Brogdon was good. Chris Middleton is decent. I'd still take Malcolm Brogdon over Chris Middleton.
But Middleton's still an all-star.
Well, I'm not saying he's not. It's just the consistency.
You need another shooter. You need at least one more shooter.
Exactly. You need another shooter. And Dom said the best. Dom was on the show yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. For those who wasn't there, a great friend of the show, Dom Russell was on. He said Mike Budenholzer is a great regular season coach. And I agree with him.
Giannis is a great regular season player. There's a theme growing here, and they got to figure that out, or else Giannis is going to want to leave.
Like Steph Curry is a great playoff player and regular season player. LeBron not so.
Why is a average regular season player and a great playoff player?
Yeah, great defender player.
He's a great regular season player. He's a terrible first round player, and he's a good second round player.
There's a theme. Jamal Murray is a guy that doesn't get recognized and has one hot series and goes back to average Jamal.
Playoffs are a different animal. So we'll have to continue with that coming up here, but we are going to be going to our first commercial break and talking about next. We are going to be talking about hockey. The team that beat the Flyers got absolutely destroyed last night. We'll cover that and more after this. We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes two 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product, and finally, $1 from every mask sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's episode. Welcome back here. Tampa Bay Lightning have been red hot all year. They were kind of laughed off after they got swept by the Blue Jackets last year. But as Chris, our friend from the show, says, you get guys like the Lightning when they get swept and embarrassed, they come back hungrier. That's obviously true. They played the Blue Jackets in the first round, took 5 OTs to finally beat them, but they got through it. That's the bottom line. And then you go ahead and you win your second series pretty handily. And then now you have the New York Islanders against you. The winner of this series will go on to play the Dallas Stars or the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup Final. Gavin, 8 goals. We're talking about 8 here to 2. 8. An absolute blowout the whole game. Islanders scored 1 goal in that third period. I have no idea if it was on an empty net or not, but 8 goals is the issue. I wouldn't even be concerned about the 2. 2's enough. But 8 goals, that's not good.
8 goals is what a team would score, sometimes maybe in a series, sometimes in 2 games.
Flyers probably had that in the series altogether.
Exactly. Oh, man, Flyers. Chris would not like that. Chris or Matt would not like that. But, Zach, this Lightning team has faced a lot of memes. And what I mean by that is, Zach, you already said, I'm going to reiterate it. Also, the Blue Jackets last year in the first round, they got swept by them. That's still funny, and they're out here playing like it didn't happen, even though it did. It's always going to go down as the team that lost to AC and swept.
Yeah, 8.
And Zach, it's like it's the UMBC team that beat Virginia. I'm not going to forget that, Zach. I don't know if you have or haven't, but I'm sure it's not going to forget.
Virginia won the next year.
The Virginia, but look, you see, but there's a growing theme. Talk about themes. Teams that get embarrassed come back to do something dangerous next year.
Unless you're the Sixers.
Well, you know what? That's a whole other story for another day that I don't think neither one of us want to get into right now.
No, not today. Not today.
Not today. Going back to Lightning, I think this series is going to be over in 5. The Islanders are going to get a game.
They'll get a game.
They're going to get a game, but they beat us. But Zach, this is just one of those domination games where it was all right for the Lightning and all wrong for the Islanders.
No doubt 8 goals, and so the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights play game 2 tonight. Dallas currently with the 1-0 lead over Vegas. Gavin, what are your thoughts for tonight? I'm sorry, it's game 2, not game 3. I got to fix that.
Well, my thoughts for tonight is how can Vegas respond? Vegas is my pick to go. Zach, I know you said that yesterday, but I'm not worried. I think this series goes to 6 or 7, but ultimately Vegas walks out the clear victories in this.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But no, I'm taking Dallas here. I think that they definitely are the more dominant team defensively. I wanted to pick Vegas, but I think Dallas is going to squeak by them. Could go to 7. This series for sure. Out of the 2 series that would go to 7, this would be more likely to go to 7. So that's definitely a pretty guarantee out of the other one. But no, Lightning in 5. I say Vegas in 7. It's going to be a fun series to watch. I wish our team was a part of it, but now we'll have to just watch and enjoy. And the next year, the Flyers can come back stronger.
It's a little too early for Flyers to talk about next year. It's still fresh, Zach, in my mindset. But look, the playoffs is going to turn up for both sports, for both hockey and basketball. Who's going to be the outcome? Everybody has a chance. For me, in basketball, it's going to be Clippers versus, I was going to say Heat, it's a possibility, but Clippers versus Celtics. And I'm rocking with not Islanders. I'm rocking with Tampa, and I'm rocking with the Vegas Golden Knights. But this is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, it will be fun to watch. It's funny, Tampa and Vegas, 2 not really cold weather areas where you would think of hockey, but hey, they have them.
Anything can happen now. Anything.
And Seattle next year, I think they start playing. They're going to have their own draft to acquire a team that's going to be fun to watch as they expand fully to 32 teams. But speaking of 32 teams, that brings us over to the National Football League, Gavin, the NFL. We got 2 days now until the season starts. We're still figuring out what we're going to do here for those watching, what we're going to do to celebrate that. Again, fantasy football draft will probably be tomorrow night. We do have, I think, 2 more spots So if you're interested, Gavin and myself, let us know, and then we will get you the link to join. I'm going to send that link out probably tonight for everybody that's already in. So we're excited for it. We'll continue to supply updates every week. But now, as promised, we're going to be doing about 2 games a day until Friday of predictions. Gavin, we talked about the Texans and the Chiefs yesterday, but today we're going to go into 2 other games, including, I'm just going to read down the list as it is. Gavin, the Jets and the Bills play Sunday at 1 o'clock in Buffalo. Who are you taking?
Taking the Bills, and I don't know why I thought about that. Look, Adam Gase is your head coach. I honestly, Zach, I slipped my mind. Forgot who was running the Jets.
I did get Le'Veon Bell late in the draft, so I'm kind of hoping he has a good year and I can plug him in because that would be nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even going to express my fantasy football thoughts because as soon as I do, Zach's going to bring up Antonio Brown in the first round.
You brought it up yourself. I didn't say to, but
I know. I'm just going to put it out there.
No doubt. So, I mean, we know much Adam Gase. We'll see what happens with Sam Darnold. We'll see if he can have a good year. But, no, I think that in Buffalo, I mean, there's no fans. It doesn't really matter at this point. But the Bills are definitely the better team. They're the favorites, in my opinion, in the AFC East.
They're the favorites, but you can't ignore Cam Newton.
Patriots are still going to be a team to look at. But just a reminder, everyone, Gavin drafted Antonio Brown in the
first pick
round last year. I mean, it's not a bad pick. You just don't know what's happening. I wonder, will Antonio Brown find himself a team?
No, I don't think so.
He has an 8-game suspension once he is signed.
But it's one of those things, Zach, where you got to look at. So he's a horrible locker room guy. If you have a strong locker room, why would you want to bring someone like him in there where he can destroy?
Go to Detroit, that's a perfect fit.
Well, they're dysfunctional already, so I'm surprised Jerry Jones and they don't have any money, so regard that. But look, Zach, his chances were Seattle, but they just got Josh Gordon back.
Mm-hmm.
You still got a chance in Baltimore, but
they've been quiet.
And this is no other team I can think, unless the Eagles, who I hope this doesn't happen, unless we go bone dry on wide receivers again, then sure, might as well bring them in. But I don't think
anything. That's pretty desperate. We'll see here right now. We have one more team we're going to predict, and I do have a little more news here for NFL with the Detroit Lions specifically. But Gavin, Green Bay Packers at Minnesota Vikings, Week 1. I have both teams falling off this year. Honestly, I don't even know who I had to pick. I'll let you go first.
Well, Zach, I know you don't like Aaron Rodgers this year that much. I know, and I speak against Kirk Cousins a lot, but I gotta go with Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers wins, and they get the first win, and they're gonna prove you wrong this year. They're gonna go. You said what? 8-8.
8-8.
I still think 11-5, 10-6 for that.
I will take Minnesota, and it's not because of anything they particularly do, but that run defense is still pretty soft in Green Bay. And Dalvin Cook is a pretty dang good running back. They're going to run the ball probably 20 times with him. The Vikings are going to fall off at some point. The Packers are going to be mediocre, in my opinion. I started the Detroit Lions winning that division. And speaking of that, we do have Adrian Peterson going to Detroit. Now they have Kerryon Johnson, Adrian Peterson, and DeAndre Swift. 3, in my opinion, are good running backs, all respectively at their own positions. DeAndre Swift is very fast, Philly native. And then you have a couple other guys there. I noted Adrian Peterson, the veteran, and Kerryon Johnson, who got hurt last year but was good before that. Before he got hurt and Stafford got hurt, they were like 3-1-1. Don't forget that.
Well, you have to forget it because who the quarterback I'm just playing. But look, Matthew Stafford's an underrated quarterback. He doesn't get the attention he deserves because he's in a horrible city where your career, if you get drafted.
One playoff appearance. He's got great talent.
One playoff appearance, great talent. He had Marvin Jones Jr., who had an off year last year. They traded away all his help. You got rid of Golden Tate. Okay, Golden Tate wasn't a big thing. You got Kenny Galladay in return, so that's not that bad.
Yeah, you have Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr., Danny Amendola, T.J. Hawkinson is back. I think you have Jesse James. You have plenty of pass catchers.
You got a whole bunch of pass catchers now. Adrian Peterson signing, I'm not really too fond of it. It's one of those where you sign him as a what if. I don't think he actually gets real burn. I think
it'll be a healthy scratch at least the first few weeks.
Yeah, the future backs are going to be DeAndre Swift, Philly native, and Kerryon Johnson. That's their future right there.
We'll see what happens. I mean, they got a lot of talent on the offense. We can see what they can do. I think personally they can step it up. We'll see what Jeff Okudah, the cornerback out of Ohio State, can do now that Darius Slay is gone. Okudah will probably be taking wide receiver one from day one. But we'll talk about those predictions and more. Coming up after this, the Phillies had a break yesterday. Tonight they play at home, I believe, against the Boston Red Sox. Can they pull it off? We'll talk about that after this.
Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because you can always share this.
And yes, as we said, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. We're going to be donating to a foundation that month. Stay tuned for more ways you can help. We appreciate everybody that supported us so far. And so, yes, even striking Gavin by surprise, the Phillies did not play yesterday. They had a little bit of one of the very few breaks that they'll have during this year's 60-game sprint. Besides the Miami COVIDs giving us a little bit of a not necessary few days off. But the Phillies hit 20-17, 2 games back of Atlanta. Gavin, they start tonight with a 2-game series against Boston. How you feeling?
I could have swore the Phillies played yesterday. Okay, that's my fault. Thought Jason Garrett hit a walk-up home run. But anyway,
that was 2 days ago against the Mets.
That was 2 days ago?
I keep getting Sunday and Monday confused. It's not just you.
Okay, well, anyway, we got like the majority. It's a 2-game set at home versus Boston. You got to get both of them. I'm going. You had a horrible performance. You split with the Mets. So let's go out here and go get the 2-game sweep.
No doubt. And then they go to Miami, Gavin. 7 games against the Marlins. We got to get at least 5, in my opinion.
You got to get 5, the majority, Zach.
It's going to feel like the playoffs playing that team that many times, dude.
Zach, I believe in this team. There's a small chance this team, yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have it today? Oh, we got the poster.
This team can get the division.
I think they can. I mean, you got to be on top of Atlanta. You're 2 games back. You're very well in the wild card, but you're only 2 games back.
So we're guaranteed. Hold on. Let me slow down. I was gonna say we're guaranteed a playoff spot, but this is Philadelphia to say that nothing ever goes right. You look at the Sixers, you look at the Eagles, you look at us, the Phillies. So I would say it's a guaranteed playoff spot, but Zach, the way how this is going is 2 wins and you're in, 2 wins and you're out, basically.
No doubt. And so finally here, Gavin, we'll continue to cover on the Phillies. I do want to bring up here 2 more topics we're going to do. Houston Rockets, Los Angeles Lakers. Gavin, you've already expressed, though you think the Rockets will win, so I'm taking the Lakers personally, but has your opinion changed at all?
No. Heck no.
You feeling good about the Rockets?
Harden. I'm sticking with the Rockets. I'm going to stick to it till the series is over and the Rockets are moving on. Zach, you saw what they did in Game 1. You got to do that again in Game 3. Game 2 wasn't like that. You got to shoot the ball better. Russell Westbrook came out and said, I need to figure out what I need to do better. I'm going to watch film. If he's going to watch film, we're going to see something expected. I'm expecting him to do something. I'm expecting him to. You could look, the Lakers aren't that good, Zach. Outside of Anthony Davis and LeBron James, arguably some days Anthony Davis, who do you have? Nobody.
It's not true. They have plenty of people. Markieff Morris was good the other night. Alex Caruso somehow is finding ways to score. Contavious Caldwell Rondo's back as well. So I think their pieces are starting to glue together. They're looking like the 1 seed right now, Gavin. They have been. They beat the Trailblazers without an issue, even though Dame did get hurt in the last game. It's gonna go to 6 or 7, but I'm still taking the Lakers.
It's gonna go to, if it goes to 6 or 7, it's gonna be the Rockets. You guys
see what happens. But finally here, the last topic of the day. Dustin Johnson has won the FedEx Cup in the PGA. Obviously, I have to bring up the golf, even though I'm getting really sick of it, but I still force myself to get out there anyway. But Dustin Johnson, big victory yesterday. Out there looking very good in the FedEx Cup in Atlanta. They will be resuming play on Thursday, but it was an impressive victory for him. He really had a good day. John Rahm, who won last week's tournament, looked really good, had one really tough hole. It was kind of hard to watch. He kind of looked like me for a minute. And also a props to Rory McIlroy, who topped the ball into the water, also looked like me. So reminder that PGA golfers aren't perfect either, but Dustin Johnson, congratulations on that victory, and we'll continue to get some PGA coverage as we continue to cover all the sports as they continue to return to play.
Congratulations, Dustin Johnson. arguably one of my top 3 favorite golfers. Not number one. Obviously
You got
Tiger
Tiger
Woods.
Woods one?
Tiger Woods is one, baby, always. Tiger Woods, in my honest opinion, just for me personally, one of the best to ever do it. But Tiger Woods and then Roy McIlroy, and then I got Dustin Johnson up there. And Jordan Spieth as well.
I'm going. You're missing a big one. I'm going Phil Mickelson at 1, Tiger Woods at 2, and probably Dustin Johnson at 3. I don't know who I have after that, but Phil Mickelson's fun to watch.
Phil Mickelson's fun to watch, but it's hard. Golf is one of those sports where you would think like us, I wouldn't cover it. Like we're gonna cover it. We're gonna cover it. We like golf, Zach. I know you like golf. Some days you don't because you hit the ball in the water in the sand trap and you're.
Sand trap I'm fine with. It's if I get in the sand trap, at least I'm near the green. Usually, unless it's a fairway sand trap.
And then I heard your putting is not to par, but it's all right. We're gonna get it straight. We're gonna go to the putting.
Yeah.
We're gonna go mini golfing soon. We're gonna get your putting right. But
There you go. That's for sure.
all in all, Zach, I think when Tiger Woods won a couple years ago, was it 2? It was 2 years ago.
On the comeback.
The comeback win. I was excited. I can't describe my feeling. If Tiger Woods could do that again, I believe he can. He's just the greatest golfer to ever do it, in my eye.
He's one of them. Yeah, Arnold Palmer up there, a few other guys. But no, I mean, Tiger Woods had a great story. For those who haven't kept track, he's been dominant since the 90s and the early 2000s. And then he really fell off for like 2 or 3 years and came back really strong. So excellent story. Anyone who has an opportunity on YouTube, I watched a video of it recently. It was a great comeback story for Tiger Woods.
And if you were watching live, Zach, I ended up watching the last 5 holes live because I heard Tiger Woods hadn't, make the march in the comeback. So I'm like, gotta watch it.
There you go. Well, no doubt, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on the abbreviated edition. We're going to continue to cover the Philadelphia Union are back as well. I'm pretty sure they just ended, but now they're back. Welcome to soccer. But exciting. Football starts in 2 days. We're going to continue breaking this all down and more here throughout the week. We're going to try to get as many hour shows in as possible. Stay tuned for some updates on that from our Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and more. And thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
See y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we go live and when we post excerpts